Hey guys, I'm Michelle, this is Moses and Peter. We are SFSBook, a San Francisco Stop Violence book. We have partnered with the local small nonprofit SF Women Against Rape. And basically, we saw that in their system, they publish a resource guide that is basically, it's a little bit of a dated technology. They just use a PDF booklet, and we wanted to kind of improve their process and improve their way to edit and update this resource guide by allowing them to do it on the web, and also making it accessible to people in the public that wanted to search it online. So we started this project back in 2016. Right now, we have received funding from Code from San Francisco, and we're also working with SF4 and doing some beta testing to kind of get some feedback and continue to hopefully deploy our first official release soon. And so just to elaborate a little bit more about the existing workflow that they have. So they have both volunteers and staff. They have a 24-hour hotline where if anyone has had any sort of occurrence, they can call this hotline. And they also have counselors that will work with these women in the long term to kind of give them support and help them find different organizations, clinics, typically ones that are free or low cost clinics and services, and kind of lead them and point them in the right direction. So again, yeah, this is an example right here of the PDF booklet they use. It's 220 pages, has 388 resources. It's kind of divided into services, locations, and communities as far as categories go. And also, so they're using this booklet, or they're also just, when someone calls in on the phone and they have someone that needs immediate help, then they'll just do a quick Google search. And so we're trying to kind of allow them to improve and speed up this process.
Yeah, so the users of our application are the staff at SF4 and the volunteers there, and they make their resource guide available to the public, and we'll make a read-only version of the thing available to the public too. Staff and volunteers will be able to actually edit resources. You can mostly ignore this diagram, but basically it just says that the workflow is sort of, you can either search for items or you can browse, and it's critical, the notes on the side just say it's critical that people get access to resources quickly because they're trying to serve people who maybe don't want to spend a bunch of time on the phone. Yeah.
All right, so the existing technology stack that we're using is vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript on the front end, with a few React components sprinkled in there, but for the most part it's the basic bare bones. So yeah, it's really helping with our fundamentals, I guess. Then underneath that we have a server. We have templates and an authentication, kind of also a cookie and cache kind of service going on. And then we also have the huge database that we mentioned earlier, with over 308 resources roughly. And so yeah, that's what we're doing. And also we're trying to roll out a few, we're trying to ramp up the authentication on the site. So there's also a few Node.js microservices included. So.
Yeah, and that server, it's mostly a bunch of it's in Go. So if anyone knows Go, come talk to us. And so this is what the interface looks like for mobile users. The first screen is just sort of the front page, and then there's this browse option. You're seeing you can narrow down by location, issues, services, communities, For instance, if someone calls in and they have a certain disability, there's a number of entities that provide resources, and some of them specifically to communities like disabled communities, et cetera. And then you can drill down into actual resources, and we have all these fields there, pretty basic interface. And then the desktop search is similar. It's a responsive site. You can add in you can use multiple tags here, searching by location as well as substance abuse, and then drill down into a resource. And if you're a staff or volunteer, you can actually sign in, and then you'd be able to edit this resource.
All right, and lastly, just a little bit about how and anyone can come and get involved. Like we mentioned on the tech stack, we're looking for developers with experience in JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Go, or just experience working on a progressive web app. And also we are recently trying to kind of look into ways that we can provide this offline for people to use. And we have a GitHub, you can check out our repository. We have a Slack channel, and we also have our email address up here. So, and that's it. Any questions? Oh, sorry, yeah.
Any questions?
Can you explain the gorilla cookie thing? I guess you're obfuscating their history or prevent tracking.
I cannot explain
Okay.
the gorilla cookie thing.
Okay.
Like I said, a bunch of it's in Go, and the guy who did most of that is a Google engineer who's currently in Canada and not.
Okay. All right. We'll look it up.
Well,
Yeah.
to
All right.
touch on that, we're actually trying to switch over to OAuth 2, Node.js, running that. So, yeah.
Thank you. I'm impressed that you're working with a nonprofit and supporting their mission. Do you have any advice for other nonprofits that want to work with Code for Code for America brigades?
Yeah, that's a great point. I joined on this a little bit later, so I didn't really wasn't involved in the establishment of the processes or working with SF but I guess so. I could speak to, as of recently, we had like a lapse in talking with them to the organization, and and like a lot of requirements and change. They have their processes are, very unique and related to issues with not having enough money to, speed up these types of things. So it's been really valuable to just meet with them and get some feedback and try and check up with them very regularly. But yeah, they're just excited that we're, helping them out. So it's really just great, mutual relationship.
And then just to add on that, I'd say just come to the meeting on Wednesdays. Have these meetings every Wednesday, and I'm sure Jesse would probably be open to, during announcements, just saying, hey, I'm this organization, this is kind of the need that I have, and there's a lot of developers looking for projects, so yeah, come on down. Cool. Thank you.